Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Today I'll be talking about the Anker Solix system that I installed in my home. Well, I didn't really install it, but a certified electrician installed it. But yeah, so the electrician from Anker arrived around 8 a.m. in my house. He started installing the box as well as the e-stop and the disconnect on the outside, which is required for this system for emergency services. And this is just a small snippet on what was going on throughout the install, installing the two batteries with the mount and as well as the inverter, and then reconnecting the inverter to the power dock with Anker's proprietary connector, as you can see here, which you will also screw in. It's a very simple install, and as you can see, he installs it over here, and this was just a final checkup on the system. This is the Anker Solix system. As you can see, I have 3 batteries, and the reason why I chose this over any other system versus, like, for example, a Tesla Powerwall or GM's energy system is that you can expand this with the expandable batteries that come in separately, and you can do it by yourself. So at first I bought this system with just 2 batteries and 1 inverter, but I saw this very good deal on Marketplace. This guy, he won this system, just a battery and an inverter, and he was selling it for almost half price versus what Anker sells. So I bought it from him, and that's what I did. I installed the battery myself, the third one, and I have the inverter on the side, which I will be eventually buying a cable to connect and then removing this battery and having that as a second inverter, which will allow me to power extra stuff in case of emergencies. But yes, this Anker system costed me about $10,300, excluding the extra battery that I bought separately. So is it worth it? I would say so. If you're someone who will be buying this system and then installing a solar system eventually, like solar panels on the roof or any type of other solar system, I think this is extremely worth it. This is not a sponsored video, by the way, from Anker. This is just me. I purchased it with my own money. This is not sponsored. Every video I've seen on YouTube has been sponsored by Anker. This is a very new product. However, Anker has been in the battery production business for a while, so I wasn't really worried about any of the mishaps or something like that. I ordered the system. Let's say it took them a week and a half to send it to my home to deliver it. And the good thing is they used the courier that was requesting me to sign. So I was actually away from home when it was going to arrive. They called me. I told them I'll be home in like a week, so they delayed the delivery for a week. So just in case, if you guys are ordering this and you're worried that you're not home, you should know that they will contact you. They'll make sure that you're home so you can sign off for the batteries. So that's a good thing. What comes with the $10,300? You get an inverter, 2 batteries, and I opted to go with the power dock, which is a smart circuit panel basically that will instantly switch to battery power when you lose power. So they advertise 20 milliseconds. I tested it. It is really quick. You do see a flicker. They do advertise that you don't see a flicker. You do see like a very, very short flicker. I would say it is very, very quick. Hey guys, this is Elias from the future. So I did want to jump in and say I did have a power outage for like maybe an hour or so a few days ago when I was watching a movie. And honestly, I had no idea. I was literally watching the movie. It was around 9 p.m. at night. And then randomly, I look at my phone like 7 minutes into the power outage, and I see a notification from Anker that says the E10 has been disconnected from the power grid, and I was very confused. So I went outside to check to make sure everything's okay. The disconnect was fine. No one has pressed the e-stop. There was nothing wrong. And yeah, it was great. So that flicker I was talking about, I didn't notice a thing. So 20 milliseconds, possibly, yes. But the non-flicker, that's not really true. So you do see a flicker. And build quality, I really do like the Anker system. Like, it feels solid, feels really good. It is heavy. Each battery, I think, is 50 kilograms, if I'm not mistaken, or 130 pounds. I'm not sure. I'll put the number on the screen. So, and in the power dock, you can basically connect up to 4 connections over here. And what are these for? So one is for your hybrid generator, which Anker designed for this system. That I didn't purchase the generator, but it might be something I would want to purchase in the future. And you can also connect 2 extra inverters, so you can have basically up to 90 kilowatt hours of battery connected. Is that overkill? Probably. One thing I do want to mention is that Anker does advertise that you can have a whole day of power on 1 battery. I think that's very vague, okay? So if you're talking about 1 day of power, Maybe 1 day of power without air conditioning, that could happen, yes. But if you have air conditioning, like an air compressor unit outside, that will usually take 3 kilowatt hours. I don't think with heavy or power heavy consuming devices, that's not what they're talking about. I would say if you would want a full day of power with, for example, having the AC on, or let's say using the dryer, if it's an electric dryer, or the dishwasher, then yes, you will need at least 2 to 3 batteries to at least feel comfortable. So when I was testing this to make sure, when I had the 2 batteries, for example, I was always on the verge of like, okay, this doesn't seem like it could be a full day of power with AC on and if I use other appliances. Granted, this is a system that you want to purchase to basically make sure that you have power to the home in case of any shutdown from the grid, right? So I guess it depends on what you want, what do you need, right? So I think for me, 18 kilowatt hours is great. I might upgrade to 24, maybe I'll get an extra battery. However, if I do that, I'll just include the inverter that I have and just have 2 batteries, 2 inverters connected to the power dock. I will be moving forward for solar panels. So that's one of the other main reasons why I went for a battery system. Everyone says, why would you go for a battery system when you can buy a generator? Well, I got a quote for a generator from Generac, from Costco too, and it would cost me about maybe $25,000 to $28,000 including installation. So that is a hefty install. Everyone says it's cheaper to buy a generator. Well, obviously I was going maybe with the overkill for a Generac, but that's a 22 kilowatt hour system. So if I wanted my full home to be on, yes, I would require that type of generator. Maybe there were cheaper ones, but I didn't look that much. So I decided to go with the battery system, especially because I'm going to upgrade to a solar system, which will allow me to be completely off-grid in the summer months here in Michigan for sure. If your state or where you're living currently allows for on-peak, off-peak timing, if that's what the regulation is for electrical companies in your state, you can basically set the system up to automatically switch to the battery power on peak and charge the battery on off-peak. So this allows you to always use off-peak time in your home. So this can offset you a significant amount if your appliances are mostly electrical. And by appliances, I mean, for example, the dryer. If your dryer is electric, you can save a lot of money because you can use your dryer during the day without caring about on-peak timing because you're using the battery system. But this goes back to the point of what I was saying is if you have 1 battery, which is only 6 kilowatt hours, that is not enough for a dryer or any other appliances to be used during off-peak hours. I would not recommend that. But if you have 18, 24 kilowatt hours, sure, I think you'll be more than fine to have 8 to 9 hours of battery time on heavy appliances. So yes, I think that's a huge advantage. Another huge advantage is that it's modular. Again, I can always add more batteries. I want more, I add more. Third advantage, the hybrid system. I can always get a new generator from Anker. Granted, it's $2,000 almost. That's a lot of money, but it is. They had that designed in mind, and I love that. I really appreciate that from a company like this. You can upgrade your system, improve it, make it better. What if you bought a Powerwall, a Tesla Powerwall, and you're like, man, this is not enough. I need to buy a whole other Powerwall for like $10,000? That does not make sense to me. I've had it for about a week, which is pretty early to have, a solid opinion about it. However, I do love the fact that I can just watch the battery percentage on the app, see the flow from the grid or from the battery into my home, especially during on-peak hours, right? And I really enjoy just having the peace of mind that during any power outage, I'll have power to my home. I won't have to buy groceries. I won't have to feel cold or hot. Well, even though my furnace is through heat, well, you need to have a pilot, right? So the pilot needs power. So in general, I feel very comfortable. What do I see as cons? Since, everyone on YouTube is sponsored by Anker and has been talking all positive stuff. So what's the bad stuff in 1 week? What have I noticed, right? The first thing I noticed is the e-stop button should be red. Like, this is the e-stop button, push to stop. When there's a emergency and emergency services come in here Instead, if they forgot to press that e-stop outside and they had to press it here, I'm looking, I don't even know. The wording is so vague because it's like behind a translucent panel. Just says push to stop, e-stop, right? But it's a black circle. You can't even know that's the e-stop. It's known that it's red and a yellow surround. That's usually an e-stop. So they should definitely update that. I know it looks cleaner like this, but that's just, it's dangerous. And you don't want that for anyone to be put in danger, right? Any other con? Honestly, I'm really a huge fan of everything else. So far, it's been great. I think the price, it is price fair. Maybe, you know, Anker is kind of cheating with the pricing by saying it's supposed to be $3,300, for example, for a battery, but then they put it as $2,000, right? I've never seen, they just say it's a deal. It's always been on the deal, okay? So it's always been a deal. Don't be fooled, please. Like if you go to the Anker site or the Anker Solix site and you want to purchase this and you see, oh wow, it's in a deal, like $2,000 or $2,100 for a battery, or I think it's like $4,500 almost for a battery and an inverter only. Yeah, and they say it's supposed to be $7,000. It's always going to be like that. They're just trying to get you to purchase the system. It's not a deal, really, you know. So I think if you want to purchase it, maybe it is worth $10,000. It is cheaper than the competition. The General Motors 17 kilowatt hour system was definitely $3 to $4 grand more expensive, and the Tesla Powerwall could not give me a definitive answer for the install. But anyways, this seemed to be the cheapest option, but also my favorite option because of the modularity and the design and the idea that it's a hybrid system. So I couldn't be happier with this purchase. I think it's great. I cannot wait to install solar panels and add that to the channel as well, show you guys all the cool features. And yeah, so other stuff I would like to talk about just real quick is you can see the battery charge on this LED light. Here it's basically full, and when you connect the system, every blue light here means that you have something connected. Just real quick, some indicators that show you what's going on with the system. So far so good, and I cannot wait for another outage. I know that sounds weird, but I want to be one of that neighbor that everyone has like, oh, what the hell, why is his lights on? Why is his lights on? You know, I'm excited for that. Bring it on, Michigan weather. But yes, thank you guys for watching. Please like and subscribe and comment. Let me know what you guys prefer. If you prefer a generator over a battery as your first upgrade for the home, or if you prefer directly going to solar panel before even getting a battery. But yeah, this is what I went for my first stage of upgrades for the home, and I cannot wait to go for the second stage, which will be solar panels, and you will definitely see that on the channel. Thank you guys for watching. Have a great day.